So today I'm going to be going through the birth story of my most recent child, Phoebe, who is my 7th-month-old, who was born in 2024. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I do have a playlist available going through all of my birth stories. So for those of you who don't know me, I have 3 children and I live in the UK and Wales. And I decided to go through them all because it's such an amazing time and experience, and I do have quite a large age gap between my first and my most recent child, so there's 16 years between them, and then my other daughter is 12. So my first daughter was born in 2008, and then my second was born in 2012, so I have all girls, and then my most recent was 2024. So I just wanted to make a playlist and go through all of the births, all of my experiences, just so that if you are expecting, you have, some references, because I know that when I found out I was pregnant with my most recent child, I really looked for things, for people's experiences between having a baby now compared to quite a few years ago and things like that. So I hope you enjoy this video. So I'm just going to go through everything. So sorry if you can hear any background noise, my washing machine and tumble dryer on like they always are. Aren't they always when you've got kids? So my most recent labour was actually my longest. So yeah, my most recent labour was actually my longest. Like I said, my 2 previous birth stories are available if you'd like to watch them first, or you can watch them next, it's totally up to you. And the differences between them is that my most recent birth, I actually gave birth in a birth centre or midwife-led unit, whatever you want to call it. So obviously they were born in different places. So I will be making another video going through the differences between hospital births and a midwife birthing centre birth. So that'll be in a separate video because that kind of needs its own video. So with my most recent, everything had changed by the time I had my most recent child. So previously when I've been pregnant, they didn't interfere with your pregnancy if you went overdue until you were a week over. But now they actually offer you a sweep on your due date, which I did accept. And I had my first ever sweep with this pregnancy, and I have to say there's absolutely nothing to it. So if you're worried about sweeps, if you've got one coming up and you're panicking about it, please don't. There's literally, if you've had a smear test, then you'll be absolutely fine. I would say a smear test is more, not uncomfortable, because they're not really uncomfortable, but intrusive than a sweep would be, just to put your mind at rest a little bit. So yeah, I had a midwife appointment, and I actually had extra scans in this pregnancy because both of my previous births, the babies were under the 10th centile. They didn't have the centile chart when I had my other 2 children, so it didn't count, if that makes sense. But because my first baby was £7 and my second little one was £6.9, technically that's on this 10th centile thing, which didn't exist when I had my first 2 children. So because of that, and because my bump was measuring small, I did have extra growth scans. So I was in and out of hospital a little bit more than I would have been, do you know what I mean? But obviously I'm not a large person. All my children have been completely healthy at birth. It's just I have little babies because I'm small, I suppose. I'm only 5'3", and I'm quite petite, but yeah, everything was fine. They were completely healthy and everything, and obviously I am petite. I'm only 5'3" too, and my partner's only 5'8", so we're not huge. So I think we just have little babies. And obviously I've only ever had girls, so maybe if I had a boy he would be bigger, who knows. So yeah, I went in for my usual checks and everything, and while I was there, the gynecologist lady, it's not called that here, it's called something different, but while I was there she did offer me a sweep, which I was really taken back by, because obviously it'd been such a long time, because my youngest was 12, do you know what I mean? So it's been such a long time since I'd had a baby that I was not expecting that, so I did accept it. It didn't really do anything, but then I had a midwife appointment a few days later. By this time I was 2 days overdue, and she offered me another one, which was actually done by a trainee midwife, and that's the one that I think actually put me into labour. So she came out, we did all of the checks where they come out and see you at home, and then the trainee midwife gave me another sweep, and that evening my contractions actually started. So I had a contraction timer and I was timing them on my phone. They started, so the sweep was offered to me about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then the contractions started then late afternoon. And then I remember waking my partner because he was sleeping for nights. So I woke him up after night, so he was sleeping after night. So I woke him up I said, you know, I think things are happening and everything like that, and I was timing them. And obviously I'd had children before, so I knew things were happening. Although with this pregnancy, I did actually experience Braxton Hicks for the first time, which I knew were not the real thing. But I think if I hadn't had a child previously and had children before, I would have thought I was in labour, to be honest. It's only because I've had children that I knew it wasn't the real thing. So if you have been like convinced during labour by Braxton Hicks on your first pregnancy or even subsequent pregnancies, please don't feel bad about that, because they're actually really similar. But yeah, I've experienced Braxton Hicks like the day before, on and off. So yeah, I guess it was just things getting ready. So later on in the evening, my contractions started getting more intense and everything, and closer together. So then we headed into the birthing centre. So the birthing centre, the unit, is actually located in the hospital, which is actually why I chose to give birth there, because it was more of the experience that I wanted. But then if anything did go wrong, thankfully, touch wood, it hasn't and everything, but if anything did ever go wrong there, literally the hospital and the labour ward, the more high risk unit there, where you need to be if you're experiencing any troubles in your pregnancy or in your labour, is literally just up literally in the elevator up on the top floor. So that made me feel really comforted, knowing that if anything did happen or if I needed anything, then I didn't have to be transferred in an ambulance or anything. I was literally on the bottom floor to the actual hospital unit. So that was really comforting for me personally. So yeah, we went in. They put you in, like, it's actually a really nice experience. Again, I will go into everything in a different video because it needs its own video. I think it deserves its own video because I had a lovely experience in the birthing unit that I was in. And my partner actually found it a much better experience as well, being supportive of someone who's having a child, or, you know, having a child, you know. So, yeah, so I will make a video about that. But we were brought into the birthing centre area. They bring you into like a room that has like a TV, a bed and birthing balls and all different like positions that you can get into and things like that, like beanbag type chair things. And then there's like an ensuite bathroom. So that's the room that I was in first, and she examined me. I was like 3 centimetres dilated. And then they just kind of offered you tea and coffee and everything and left you to it. Obviously, I'd had children before. If it was your first baby, I don't know if they would keep you in or not. They may send you home, but because it was my third and my previous 2 births had been quite quick, like the established side of labour had been quite fast, they kept me in. And yeah, they monitored me, did all my checks and everything. And then I just used like the birthing ball and all the different like pieces of equipment in there and just tried to stay active and, you know, help things along. So we were in that room for a little bit, and then I remember I wanted a water birth, so I'd asked them about the pool, and they said until you're in established labour, so if it's your first child and you don't know, established labour is from 4 to 10 centimetres dilated. So because I was only through 3 centimetres, I couldn't go in the pool yet. But she said, you know, if anything changes or if you feel different, to let them know. So they were really lovely, I have to say. It was such a good experience. So yeah, they let me get on with things really, and obviously me and my partner were there, and you know, we were just going through the contractions and everything like that. So I remember like laying on the like bed that they had, and I had like the peanut ball like between my legs, which is supposed to help your baby get into a really good position. If you don't know what that is, I will insert a picture now. Hopefully I can find one on the internet to show you guys. But it's basically like this inflatable ball thing that you put between your legs, and then when you're laying down, then it's supposed to help get the baby into a good position for birth. So I was using that and everything. You know, you've been in there a few hours, and then things started feeling different from having, obviously I've had children before, so I kind of knew that my body was getting established, and it just felt different. The contractions were feeling different, and I felt different. So I let them know, they examined me, and I was 5 centimetres, and I was allowed to go into the pool, which I was very excited for. If you guys have watched my previous birth stories, then for my second, I really wanted a water birth. But because when I was in labour with my second daughter, there was meconium in the waters, which means that the baby had pooped inside. I couldn't have it, and I had to go to the high risk labour ward and be monitored continuously. So I was really excited to be able to go into the pool, which was lovely. The room was really nice. The pool was so soothing. If you are like looking for pain relief, I highly recommend water. I know that sounds so strange to say that water can help with pain, but it is really, really soothing. So I do recommend it if that's an option for you. So I got into the pool, and then they offered me Garcinia. I'd been in the pool for about 20 minutes, and they offered me some Garcinia, and I took it. And then, like, from there to having the baby in my arms, because in that room then you had like the pool, and then over the other side of the room you had like, it wasn't a bed, it was like it was one of those beds, I don't know how to describe it, it's like a lounge sofa type thing. Anyway, I was on there and I had a baby. So I do have quite the gap in my memory. Like, the last thing I remember before the baby is born and in my arms is being in the birthing pool, being on Garcinia, actually joking with my partner, doing like the Darth Vader voice and stuff, just, yeah, being silly. And then things getting a little more tense, and then literally coming around and there was a baby. So it's a good thing I do have like video clips that I will insert for you guys. I can't show you loads because for some of it, like, I am completely naked. Did actually record her like full birth, her being born and everything, which is lovely to look back on. And both of my older daughters have actually watched like the little video clip that he took and seen their little sister being born, which is just amazing. So lovely. And yeah, it's just really nice to be able to look back on. But as time has gone on, I've remembered more. But when she was actually born, obviously she's 7 months old now, but when she was actually born, like, I had no memory. Like, there's a huge gap in memory. Little bits have come back since, but my partner said I did have quite a lot of Garcinia. Apparently, I've been told that I'm a lover of Garcinia, and he was like trying to like take it off me. It's quite comical, really. And then I was like shouting at him and telling him to give me it back and things like that. So I was very much wanting a lot of Garcinia, which is completely fine. But then I remember like researching it afterwards, and obviously, apparently, if you do have quite a bit of Garcinia, which obviously I must have, it can give you like a little bit of lapse in memory. Like, things have come back since, but in the moment of having her, I mean, you're woozy anyway, but yeah, there was just like this big gap in memory, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I think it depends on your point of view. But yeah, from the video footage and from what he said, I laboured then in the pool. They had to get me out of the pool a couple of times, he said, because I got to about 9 centimetres and my water still hadn't broke, so they were like trying to check things, and I was like in and out of the pool. And then he said that in the end he brought me out of the pool, because like when I woke up, I went into you know, the pool in the birthing suite in a bikini, which I got changed into. And then I woke up completely naked. So I was like, oh, what happened? Like, do you know what I mean? And he said, obviously, the bikini, like, I had to come out of the water. and he said, oh, it was getting cold, do you know what I mean? It was like cold on my skin, so like the midwife said, oh, maybe she should take it off. So I laboured, and then I was at the pool. I was about 9 centimetres, and it did get to a point where, like, if the baby hadn't have started coming and things, then they were going to transfer me upstairs because they were like trying to pop my waters, and she just wasn't coming, and they were getting like a little bit concerned, I think, which obviously they don't make clear to you at the time, do they? But that's the impression that my partner has given me since, that, you know, things weren't progressing the way they would have wanted, like no serious complications or anything like that. But I think because like it was my longest labour, so like the established labour for my third child was actually about 9 hours, and she was born like really early hours of the morning, about 25 to 6 in the morning. So it's actually my longest labour, which is crazy if you think about it. But like I say, labour is what it is. Babies come when they're ready, and that's that. And you just never know how it's going to turn out, which is both concerning and exciting. But yeah, so I didn't get a water birth, which I'm not really upset about, to be honest. I actually had her on my side. Obviously, he did film her actually being born and everything, and I gave birth on my side. So from Phoebe crowning to actually being born was about 4 or 5 minutes. It was, you know, even though my labour was the longest, the actual birth of her actually coming through the birth canal then was the quickest. So yeah, and I've actually watched it, and I can't believe like how fast, do you know what I mean? Because some women are pushing for like hours, but it was literally like 5 minutes, which is crazy really. So, but I'm so glad he like made those recordings, and I have that to look back on. So if you are, you know, worried about things like that, no one ever has to see it. It can just be for you to look at. And I would highly recommend recording it, because even if you have a completely natural delivery and you don't have medication, the experience of birth and delivery, it's like very intense, and you do get like these weird memory gaps and things. Like my previous children, I had less like arsenic, and even though I had pethidine, I do remember more, but there's still gaps, and there's going to be, and I think being able to look back on it is lovely. So I highly recommend like recording. I mean, you don't have to record that area if you don't want to, but just having a camera around, I just think I highly recommend it. It's so nice to be able to look back on, and just to be able to like look back on the memories as well of us like giggling when I was like first going into the pool, and like, we were on Castle pretending to be like Darth Vader and stuff. It's just funny, you know, it's just a really nice memory. Obviously then afterwards, you know, Craig's my partner, he explained like, you know, all of the part of my memory that was missing, like what happened. But I was in the water for quite a few hours, and I remember like after she was born and I come round a little bit and had a shower and everything, I remember like looking down at my feet, and all of the nail varnishes like started to come off my nails, because I painted my toenails just to feel a little nicer. I didn't do my fingernails, but I did paint my toenails, and I remember like looking down and wondering why like my nail varnish had like chipped off and things, and that's why, because I was in the water for so long. So yeah, but it was a lovely experience, and the team were really, really lovely. And then after she was born and I come round and everything, we had cuddles, and then my partner came home, because obviously, you know, we have animals, pets. We had the other 2 girls. So after like snuggles and everything, he came home to check up on everybody and all that. And obviously he hadn't slept either, so literally from when we arrived to the next morning, he didn't sleep. Apparently the midwives were saying that they really praised him about how good he was of a birthing partner, so I thought that was really lovely too. And yeah, it was just really nice. Like in some of the clips when I was looking back, recording, obviously he asked, is it okay if I record you, type of thing, you know, and you can hear them like chatting in the background and like offering him cups of coffee and just making it like a really nice, relaxing, you know, welcoming place. So I just think it was a really nice experience, and like out of all the births, my partner said that he found that experience the best personally. Not obviously all your children being born is amazing, do you know what I mean, but as being more relaxed, and he felt like he was able to offer the support in the way that he wanted to and could, and it was just a better experience all around. So I highly recommend a birthing centre if that's an option for you. But yeah, I remember her, like, when I came round, like, she was on my chest, and literally she pooped as well. So as she was born, she also pooped. Which is like, all of my children do that. I don't know why, but they do. So yeah, so I just remember then, like, we were covered in poop basically. I don't know what that is. It just seems to be something my little ones do for some reason. But yeah, I remember snuggling her and bonding and everything. And then I remember, like, just after she was born, because they say, don't they, like, the after pains do get a little bit more intense, like, and I come round and the gas and air had worn off. I do remember, like, feeling quite sore down below and tender, which you do anyway, but that was quite intense. That, you know, it wore off, you know, after laying there for a bit and just kind of giving myself a minute. So then we had snuggles. The midwives, they dressed her and cleaned her up as best as they could. Obviously she was quite poopy, so they, like, wiped her over and put a nappy on her and got her dressed and everything. I came round a bit, and then they offered me coffee and toast and things, and I had my shower, which felt amazing. So tip for you guys, I know peri bottles are very, very popular now, but if you're not looking into getting one of those, I would say you don't really need one. I would personally recommend that when you go for your shower, to pee in the shower, which sounds a bit disgusting, but it helps because, you know, you have that constant running water over you. So that's what I did. I know this is really TMI, and I don't know if anybody actually wants to know this, but, you know, there is no shame. Birth is a messy experience and you've got to do what you've got to do. So personally, I found it more comfortable, and I've done it with all 3 of my children. After I've had the little one, I always go for a shower because I'm always ended up covered in poop, basically, in baby poop. So I always go for a nice shower, and I pee in the shower basically, and I find it way more soothing. It's really TMI, and I can't believe I've just said that to the world of YouTube, but I thought, you know, for anyone out there who has found that the peri bottle doesn't work for them, or for whatever reason they're not using that, obviously, you know, you can't just use that. But I've never used it personally. I mean, other than the first pee after you deliver, I've never felt the need for one, but obviously every woman's experience of that area after birth is going to be different. So if you feel like you need one, definitely get one. But you can't just pour water down in that area with a cup or something, so don't feel like you have to buy another thing, because then after you've had your child, what are you using it for, you know? So I guess that's personal preference. But yeah, I remember then we did end up, like, being transferred over to, like, the maternity ward and everything, because she had done the meconium poop, so they like to keep you in for 12 hours for that. And then we thought, well, we're in there already, we may as well wait for the newborn check, so we waited for those 2. And after that then we came home the next day in the evening time, I believe it was. And yeah, it was a lovely experience. Originally I was going to breastfeed, so while I was in the hospital, I remember just after I had it, I did try and do it. I did find it quite tender, I've got to be honest. And then I tried again then, like, when I was over in the ward. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just because, you know, I don't tend to have the biggest supply of milk. Even, like, with my other 2 children, I didn't breastfeed them, but, like, my milk, when it came in, there wasn't really a lot of it. And, like, in this pregnancy, I tried harvesting my colostrum from, like, week 38, and I couldn't get anything at all. And I remember feeling quite disheartened, I can't lie, but it's okay. I mean, she's fed, that's all that really matters. So if you're worried, like, about, like, breastfeeding and things like that, just know that if it isn't going the way you thought it would, or it doesn't happen for whatever reason, and then you end up bottle feeding your little one, don't feel bad about it. They don't care. When they grow up, my 16-year-old has never asked me, Mum, did you breastfeed me when you were little? They don't care. And nobody else does either. So as lovely as it is, and obviously if you want to try, then absolutely definitely give it a go. But please don't feel bad if it doesn't work out for you, because as long as your baby is fed and thriving, that's all that really matters. So just wanted to point that out. Because I know, like, when it didn't work for me, I did feel quite sad, and I just think that's a natural thing that comes with motherhood and parenthood. I did feel a little bit sad that it didn't happen the way I was hoping it would, but that's okay. She's happy and healthy now, and yeah, she's fed, so that's all that really matters. So yeah, that's like my little birth story for Phoebe. Yeah, so I think if I was to ever have another child, I would lay off the gas in a bit so I can actually remember what happened properly. So maybe don't have as much as I did. But yeah, just like seeing the little video clips, and like I'd be there, and you know, like in between contractions as you like progress, you do feel quite sleepy, so I'd be there like leaning over like the pool and everything, and you could see like Craig's hand coming in to try and like ease the gas in there away from me, and then he'd tap it for a bit, and then I realised, like come around a bit and realise it wasn't there anymore, and like steal it back. And yeah, looking back now to watch those little clips is quite funny. At the time I probably didn't find it funny, you know, but yeah, the team were lovely and it was a really lovely experience, and I would definitely go back there. But yeah, I remember like sitting and just looking at her like after, when we were in like the recovery ward and everything, and just thinking how amazing she was, as you do. And yeah, but like when she was born and she was like placed on me and things, and like snuggling her, oh, like looking back at the photos though, you can see that I was like out of it and pretty exhausted. So, but I will insert some like lovely photos of the little one, little Phoebe, as a brand new baby and things.
Yeah, you tell us all about it.
So we do have, like I said, some video clips and some photos that I'll pop in. How much of my actual like birth vlog I'll be able to show, we'll see. I have started editing it, I've edited quite a bit, but obviously like most of it I'm naked, you know, so it's a little bit tricky to edit that in a way you could actually watch it, if that makes sense. And again, while she's actually being born, I'm also naked. So that's just how it ended up being, I suppose, but whatever I can show I will. So I really hope you did enjoy this video. It's been lovely to look back on, I have to say, and just there's nothing better than your children being born. You just cannot beat it. So if you are pregnant and you're watching this and you're looking, because obviously we all look for birth videos to see what people's experience like. I know I definitely did. I really hope that it goes so well, and congratulations, and I hope you get the birth and the experience that you want. And if you have, you know, on subsequent pregnancies, let me know what baby number you're on. I would love to know, and I hope things go really well for you. But that is everything for this birth story, and it's just been really lovely to look back on. Really nice. So I will make that video as well of the differences that I found between like the hospital birth and the birth centre. So I will make that too. I'll probably record that after this one, and then I can get them out for you guys. So I really hope you did enjoy this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and for being here and just supporting my channel. It does really mean a lot to me. So I hope I will catch you in the next videos and that you enjoy my content. And if you are pregnant, please know that the birth of the baby is lovely and it's such a magical time, but if it doesn't go quite the way you want it, please don't be upset. It is just a couple of days out of your life, and you will get to have your little one for the rest of their lives. So please don't panic about things like that. Please know that, you know, once you bring the little one home and you recover and everything will just, it'll work out, I promise. So if you are worried about birth, or you've had past experience that haven't been what you wanted, or you've just had like a traumatic birth or something like that, then just know that it can be better, and once you have the little one in your arms, that's all that matters. So if you have a C-section, if you have all the drugs that they can offer, epidural, if you have natural birth, a water birth, a home birth, whichever way you choose to do things, only you can make that decision, and you just need to pick whatever's right for you. So don't feel pressured by videos out there or anything like that, or other people's birth stories. We're all unique, all of our little ones are unique, so you just do it the way that you need to do it. So I hope you get the birth and the experience that you want. and I hope everything goes amazingly for you. But anyways, I'm going to stop rambling now. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye!